federal government to mark the Fitri Festival in Spain. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, for UTME notification slip, which shows candidates a date, venue, and time of examination is ready for them. A release by the JAM spokesperson and the head of public affairs,
Fabian Benjamin, shows that all candidates who have registered for the 2024 UTME scheduled to commence on Friday 19th April 2024 should print their notification slips before the date of the examination. To print the slip, candidates are to visit the JAM website www.jam.gov.ng, click on 2024 UTME slip printing, impute their registration number, then click on print. The slip can be printed anywhere, provided there is an internet-enabled computer. Candidates are, however, advised to print on or before Friday 19th April 2024. So as to locate the venue of the center to prevent lateness on the scheduled examination date. The 2024 UTME is scheduled to commence on Friday 19th and end on Monday 29th April 2024. By this announcement, JAM is asking candidates or prospective candidates to be proactive and think ahead and be ready before the examination date proper. However, there are some gray areas that the candidates may need clarifications. What has JAM put in place to address previous challenges if there were any issues of CBT are also very crucial at this juncture? These are some of the issues we may find answers to. Thanks for joining us. I am Ikaria Clinton. Welcome to Nigeria Today. Joining us in the studio on the discussion is the head of public affairs, JAM, Fabian Benjamin. Welcome to Nigeria Today.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
So, Fabian, tell us more about this press release that you just gave. Tell us more, so to drive home the point.
Well, it's part of our processes, and for each of our examination, a week to the examination. I think this year we are releasing it very early.
Okay.
The examination is actually commencing on the 19th. But you can see today we are not yet at that mark of a week to the examination, but we feel that these candidates should have this early enough for them to be able to locate their centers, because at times we notice that some candidates will print this slip and then they will have these addresses and just keep it within themselves. Unknown to them, maybe these addresses are somewhere very complex. They need to do some maneuvering before they will locate the place. So it's advisable that if you get a center, especially in a place that you're not very familiar with, you can take a drive there. Look at the area, look at how you get there and stuff like that. So the slip is one of the vital instruments that actually enable you to sit the examination, because it gives you the time of your schedule. It's a computer-based test center, and then it's done in sessions. We have the morning that starts by 8, we have the 10 o'clock there and there. Some centers even have 4 sessions, some 3 sessions, as we are starting 3 sessions, and some states will have 4 sessions and stuff like that. So it's for you to know which session do you belong to. That is your own schedule, your time. And then for you to know the dates you are sitting the examination. It's starting on the 19th, just as you rightly captured, but it stretches up to 29th of this month. You could be on that 19th. That's why we said you should print on or before the 19th, because there are chances that you could be sitting the examination on that very 19th. So if you wait on that 19th and then you print the examination, you may discover that you are scheduled for the morning session and you have missed the examination. So ideally, it's for you to print before the 19th, so that if you are scheduled for the 19th, you sit for the examination, you move and know the location of your center, and then you go on that day to sit for the examination. So the slips gives you the venue, the time, and the date of your examination, and other instructions that you may need to know about the examination.
Okay, now you're telling us that JAM is being more proactive by sending the information very early so that people could, locate the date, and of course the venue, and of course the day they are also partaking in this exam. So some candidates have been expressing fear that the exam has been postponed indefinitely. Can you please address these fears?
That is not part of our culture. You know, if you had followed us over time, you will see that once we give a date, we stick to it. And that explains why even when we say we're closing our registration on a particular day, we don't shift, because we want people to know us for something. As an agency, you must be identified with a particular kind of policy direction, that when you say a thing and it comes to pass. So there's no way we would have shifted our examination. And don't forget that the space we are giving, we are not the only operator in the examination subsector. NECO is there, WAEC is there, NAPTEP is there. There are other examination bodies that also play along with us in this particular space. So we are giving a particular schedule for us to conduct our examination. Immediately we finish, NECO may come in, WAEC will come in and stuff like that. So if we shift, we may be encroaching into other examination bodies. It is a very carefully planned exercise. It's not just something that somebody sits down, sleeps, and wake up and decide to do whatever he feels like doing.
Now, is a printing process streamlined or user-friendly, you know, compared to previous years?
Yes, that's why, you know, we said that you can print anywhere, provided you have a computer that is internet enabled. You can print at home, you can print in our centers. Your father, your uncle, your whatever can print in his own office, anywhere. We made it so that at least it will be seamless. Don't forget, we have about close to 2 million candidates that are sitting this examination. So if you restrict it to a particular location, it will be difficult for them to print. So that's why we made it available for candidates to print at anywhere at their own convenience.
Now, have there been any improvement to address issues such as delays, you know, or technical glitches in accessing the notification slips?
No, if you look at the way we have put the notification slip, if you go to our site today, don't forget that we have a mechanism to monitor whatever is being operated on our own system. You would have noticed that almost more than 25% of the candidates have printed as of today. More than 25% of the candidates have printed as today. So that tells you that it's a very simple exercise. If you go to our site, just as you rail out, you will see print slip there. You just click on it and then it takes you there. You put your registration number and then you click print and you're done. So it's not something very mechanical that one will begin to say, okay, you need to do this and that. Once you hit the site, you will see it by your right-hand side. You just click on it and it takes you through. You put your registration number and then you print your slip and you're there. Your picture is there. Your details are there, your name, your center number, your picture, and other things that will at least authorize you to gain access to the examination venue.
Okay, are there any alternative methods for candidates who may face challenges? We're talking about people that probably could not have access to online printing, you know. Well,
experience is a very great guide that gives you, you know, that lead you in doing some of these things. And in the world, since we started this process, we've never had even one case where a candidate will come and tell us that, look, for whatever reason, I was unable to print my slip. Even if you don't have access to internet, at least you could go to places where there are internet-enabled centers and you can print it there. So we have never had in the 40 years of our existence, at least it's not part of our challenges. We've never had instance where a candidate will come and say, look, for whatever reason, I was unable to print my slip. None at all. So based on that experience, we know that it's not something that we should even look at.
Okay. Now, what steps should candidates take? Should there be any discrepancies, any issues? What steps can any candidate take?
Well, discrepancies, you know, is very ambiguous. I don't know if you could narrow it. But if I understand what you're trying to say, if there are issues of identity and stuff like that. If you look at our registration process, we have made it in such a way that it's difficult for you to have such issues. Don't forget that we don't pick those issues, the date, name, and other things from the candidate. We pull those things from NIMC, from the NIN of the candidate. Our registration process is made in such a way that you just send your NIN number to our USSD code, that is 55019 or 66019. And then it pulls your details, your name and other vital information that we need. So in such a way, it will be difficult for you to begin to have any discrepancy of name, age, or whatever that you're talking about. So those things, over time, if you look, our process is that for every exercise we conduct, after the whole examination, we sit back and look at the process. And where there are issues, there are hiccups, there are 1 or 2 challenges, we ensure that we make amendments here and there. We fine-tune the process and make it better. So over time, there are challenges that we have overcome that are no longer issues to us. We are looking at bigger pictures. So some of these issues of mix here and there, they are no longer part of our challenges. We've overcome that thanks to IT, technology and stuff like that. What seems to be like a challenge to us now is what we call, for me, I look at it as a wicked problem. A wicked problem is a problem that keeps occurring, and you devise a means, it manifests in a different way and stuff like that, which is exam malpractice. Okay. It's not peculiar to Nigeria alone. Exam malpractice is a global challenge. But for us, if you look at the way we are even, the architecture of our processes, you would have seen that, yes, you can give us credit to say that, look, we have eliminated this challenge to a certain level. But it is not over because of the attitude of some of our stakeholders. When I mean stakeholders, parents are also stakeholders. Some of teachers are also stakeholders. And until you have everybody on the same board, it will be difficult for you to achieve 100% success in some of these areas. So some of those minor things that you're mentioning, we've overcome that. This is the bigger problem that we are trying to work with. The way we are going, if we look back and where we are now, you could, with the benefit of hindsight, say that, look, in no distance time, we should be able to also overcome that problem of exam malpractice, especially if the stakeholders give us the needed support that we require.
Now, what kind of support are you talking about here?
Cooperation. Okay. For instance, we keep talking about schools, parents not allowing their candidate to do what we call group registration. Our examination is not a school-based examination. If you have a child, take this child to a center, register him before he gets back to school. But what some parents do, especially the privileged one, they send these kids to school, private school especially, and the school collect money from them, put them in a bus, take them to a center, and do what we call group registration. In the course of doing this group registration, you have mutilation here and there. We've had a case in Lagos where a candidate was at a particular center because they collected his slip, this same slip that I'm talking about that they should print. Some school will go and print this slip in bulk and then hold on to this slip and then give this candidate on the examination day. This particular candidate was told that his examination was 3 o'clock. Perhaps, maybe in the course of giving them this day, because they have so many of them, and they could not actually give him his, or maybe they misplaced the time, his own schedule. He was actually at the venue of the examination by 9 o'clock. He was supposed to write the examination by 9 o'clock, but he was just sitting down there because he was told by his principal that his examination is 3 o'clock. Only for him to come present himself around 3 o'clock, and then we saw the slip, and his examination had gone. He missed the examination. So these are issues that we keep talking to parents. Take your child. It is an individual exercise. It's not a group. It's not WAEC. It's not NECO where you register them in group, you present to the examination body, you have a list of names and stuff like that. If you look at even the processes, the protocol of our exercise requires that the candidate must do this thing as an individual because you have biometrics you will capture. You don't give us pictures. We take your picture from our own system and stuff like that. But this has been a problem to the extent that even when we are trying to reduce the cost of this application document, this privileged school collect as much as 30,000 naira, 40,000 naira from parents, and they don't find it, at least they're okay with it, paying that much and stuff like that. But we're not even talking about the money. The money is even the least of our problem. But in the course of doing all those things, getting their data, because they're in large number, some of these things are mixed up. And at the end of the day, they probably will say, this is what JAM has done and stuff like that.
But is it right to collect money? Is it right to collect money from candidates?
Well, the issue is that we cannot enforce that. We will keep talking to parents. This registration, the amount is XY. But if you decide to pay 100,000 naira to a school, what else will we do? We don't have the power to prosecute you. I'm not sure there is any law that, because these parents we had under the guise of, we're collecting this thing, we'll transport them to school, we'll feed them on their way to the examinations, we'll do this and that and that. And we don't have that power to begin to determine the perimeter for them, the cost of transportation and stuff like that. But we can only continue to appeal to parents that, look, these are also avenues for examination malpractice. Because when they begin to mobilize resources, these are resources that is used to bribe some of these examination officials and stuff like that. Because when people begin to collect money under the guise of, we'll do this, under examination circumstance, my sister, the tendency for those resources to be useful, examination malpractice is there. That is why I told you that we need the cooperation of the parent, because all of us must work together to ensure that we address this canker one. It is not compulsory. It is not something that is by force that a child must read a particular program or must go to a particular school. There are 3 tiers of tertiary education. We have the colleges of education, the polytechnic and multechnic, and the universities. At least, no matter what, your child can find accommodation in any of these ones. This attitude of my son must be a doctor, my daughter must be a doctor, a lawyer, and an engineer, is not helping us. Let us allow this candidate to fashion their own competence within the profession that they want to study.
Okay, so parents, you've heard, steer clear and allow the children to fashion their own competence, just like Jam has said. Now, let's take a short break and listen to comments from candidates and few other Nigerians on the issue of discuss. Now, stay with us, don't go away.
The challenges we face, the basic challenge we face is poor internet connection. Because starting from when we registered, I was registering my JAM, we have that network failure, which delayed us. And now, going to when we are collecting our exam slips, where our center is listing on, we also face it. Even presently now, we are saying that we are hearing that the website crashed, that they have to postpone it. Even when we are writing the JAM, some centers still have that internet connection. They have poor internet connection. That is the main challenge we face while writing JAM.
The mistake is from the registration. When he was doing the registration, the mistake is from him. We don't actually know. But what happened is that for him to log into that to his profile to check the JAM, it was a serious problem.
For this computer age now, it's not that computer age is not good, it's good, but most problem that people face now in this computer age in JAM now is that sometimes the system that they'll give yourself may not be working. Understand? The system may be hanging. When you're supposed to go to the next subject, before you don't call they will call the engineer that will come and repair the computer. The time is counting. You understand? Because when you start, the time starts counting. So there are many problems that we face now. And one of the problems is that, as I say, this system, sometimes the system are not okay. And sometimes again, when you even, some people say, when they are doing that capturing and all these things, sometimes there are details may have computer issue, they may change.
When I went there to check my registration, we pay for mock, that is for mock, for STEAM, but the challenge I have there is the lesson and the mock I went for, to write the mock in the area. They're supposed to start by 8, but we start around by 12, finish by 6. The challenge, that is what the challenge, but the result, the challenge, that's how I should write the JAM again. This how I should write the JAM again, all over again, and I write it again, my just now come outside. It's not to give me challenges like that, that's all.
Welcome back. This is still Nigeria Today, and we are talking about the 2024 UTME notification slip. And I have here with me the spokesperson of JAM. You heard the
narrations.
The plethora of
the
problems there.
Yes.
Now they mentioned network failure, website crash, poor internet connection, system failure, system crashing. All these challenges. What is JAM doing about it?
Well, internet is not part of our processes.
Okay.
Our examination is not internet-based. What people refer to as internet is just the connectivity within the centers. We use what we call the local area network. Local area network in the sense that when we were growing up, there was this system we used to do with a matchbox. You connect a thread to the other matchbox and you could talk and you could hear the other person. It's not connected to any network anywhere. So what that means is that the computers are interconnected within the centers, and that is just what the system we operate. So what most people refer, in the course of the examination, if a socket has problem and then distort the particular flow of communication, then maybe a system could go off and stuff like that. That is what they're referring to as internet. We don't use internet. So the issue of connectivity, internet connectivity and stuff like that is not there. Yes, there could be socket issues, because you connect them LAN, local area network, just within the system, wire cable from one terminal to the other and stuff like that. You could have that few socket problems here and there. But the beauty of any system is that it has envisaged some of these challenges, designed a process, and provided rooms room to address whatever challenge that could occur. We have made provision for such happenstance, if at all they do occur. And a situation whereby somebody said that before you know what is happening, your examination is gone, it's not true. If I start my examination, for instance, English 60 questions, and I'm on number 20, and I have a socket or whatever problem that I have at the center, my time stops running until that exercise, that computer is fixed. And that explains why, even when you look at the process of accreditation, that is why our process of accrediting centers is very, very tedious. There are very strenuous conditions that you must meet. The system, we use 250 systems per center, but we insist that you must have 275 systems. The 25 are backed up. They are fixed there, good looking, working, good, in good order, but they are not being used.
Okay.
In the event whereby you run, a system runs out of whatever it is, the candidate is immediately provided with a system that is a backup. And there is no way you can have 25 cases where candidates are installed, and then you say, okay, you have exhausted the backup. But what I'm trying to say in essence is that wherever you stop, wherever the challenge is, once your system is reactivated, you continue from where you stop. Okay. So the issue of website crashing, I don't know what he means by website crashing. we automated the system today. Okay. And I told you that about 25% of the candidates, what I mean by 25%, if you have about 2 million candidates, we're talking about 500,000 have already printed. And we say print before Friday, which means Thursday is our deadline. So if 500,000 have printed today, we have Friday today. Before Monday, everybody would have printed. So
hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
Yes.
So I don't know where the issue of website crashing is coming from. Yes, if because the website is internet enabled for candidates to print wherever they are. And what that means is that, you know, so that you don't get too confused, I say our system is not internet based. But the printing, because we take the component of this thing, we put it on the cloud for candidate to print. But that does not mean that our system is on the net. But we just pick that, put it in the cloud, so that candidate can print whatever. Just like you have pictures of all of us here, and then we'll crop the picture and put it on there for you to print your picture. So if your internet, wherever you are, is not strong enough, or it has one or two challenges, certainly you will have one or problem telling you that server not available and so on. And that doesn't mean that the website had crashed. These are normal glitches that everybody, you know, experience in the course of using some of this particular process. But we are on top of the issues. We are not saying that we don't have challenges when we, in the course of our examination. Yes, there are one or two issues that will come. We are sitting examination in the candidate will be sitting this examination in about over 700 centers. So if you have across the nation, if you have one or two centers where there are one or two issues, I don't think that's a failure.
Okay, you just talked about people that probably had issues when they are writing the exam. What if for some reasons you were not able to even start the exams and you had issues? Are you given the opportunity to rewrite it? I
think the candidate just said it. You know, for us, once you indicate, you express your interest that you want to sit our examination, it's a commitment. We've entered a contract with you. Okay. And come rain, come sun, you must sit for that examination. Okay, now, we've had situations whereby candidates, for one reason or the other, they could not sit the examination at the time allotted to them, and we reschedule them. We have provision for reschedule.
Okay, there's a provision for reschedule.
Yes, especially if the failure for that candidate to take the examination is at our own end.
Okay. Now, what are the consequences for candidates who fail to bring their UTME notification slip to the exam center?
You can't sit the examination. Okay. Because in the first instance, we don't even know whether that is your center. Okay. It is only the slip that we indicate that, okay, this is where you're supposed to sit the examination. You know, there's this confusion that when we say candidate come by 6:30 or 7 o'clock, this year is 7 o'clock. It used to be 6:30, but for reason, you know, it's 7 o'clock this year. The examination starts by 8. The 7 o'clock or 6:30 that people have been talking about is not that you're coming to sit examination by 6:30 or 7 o'clock. The 7 o'clock you're coming will only tell you that come early so that you can undergo some processes, some protocols. You'll be subjected to biometric verification and so many other things. And for you to get into the examination hall, sit down, relax before commencing the examination. We don't want a situation whereby a candidate just rush him, you know, that kind of a thing. Sit, then go into the hall and begin to see the examination. Some of these things could also lead a candidate to fail, to at least his performance could affect the performance of the candidate. So you come to the center by 7 o'clock, and then you undergo the process. It is assumed that the 250 candidates per that session would have finished the process within 1 hour, because it's very fast and all this in 3 minutes, 4 minutes, you know, that kind of a thing.
Okay, so before we wrap up the program, because we are at the verge of wrapping up, now, can they come with either hard or soft copy, or just hard copy?
No, hard copy. You can't come with soft copy.
Okay, you can't come with soft
Yes,
copy.
you come with hard copy, because we really need to look at the pictures and all this, because they are not advised to come with their phones. Candidates are not to come with their phones.
Oh,
So
okay.
hard copy is what is recommended.
All right. Thank you very much for that clarification, Fabian. This is where we'll wrap it up for today's episode of Nigeria Today. A very big thank you to our guests, who is the spokesperson of JAM. We're talking about Fabian Benjamin. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much.
And thank you for being part of the program. I'm Eukaria Clinton. Goodbye.